I'm not the first person to take a look at Gorge, I'll admit. Um, but I think what I'm looking at is maybe a little bit different from most people, and that is the little in-between areas, you know, the details. Look, that's the same chair from Badwater, I think. I wonder if this door says private. Oh, it does. I wonder if there's like a secret character named Private. Private Parts reporting for duty. You guys seen that? It's pretty funny. I don't think I've ever walked this way ever. I don't even. Oh, I have. No, I have. This is such a weird like liminal. Like if I turned off my entire HUD, it would look weird. Anyway. Yeah, let's look in here. There's actually quite a bit here. At least from what it looks like. Yeah, there is quite a bit here. Or at least quite a bit of... Oh, there it is again. Oh, I really should not hit myself with that. You can actually just be back here. That's so cool. At least partially. This whole thing is invisible walled. I don't know why. Oh, wait, but you can wall pogo? Or wall climb? I wonder what comes through here. Like a tank. And then this is probably would lead out to like, I don't know. Maybe this is just a storage bay? Man, I wish Minecraft had more lighting options. Like, colored lighting and, like, you know, without mods and stuff. I'm a vanilla Andy myself. What does this say? We can find out. High explosives, dangerous. Okay. It's probably hydrochloric acid in there or something. Something sinister. Okay, and that's just the spawn. I think the spawns are given extra extra love and attention because people are going to be waiting around here. You know? You aren't going to be preoccupied with as many other things aside from, like, I don't know, equipping the right hat. So I think there's something, maybe a lesson there, or a bit of a takeaway there is, you know, put work towards where, you know, players are going to appreciate it. Right? There's something to be said about, you know, focusing the detail where eyes are actually going. You know, in the middle of the point, you don't need to add nearly as much erroneous detail if players are never going to notice it among the, you know, the gunfire. Why can't I go through there? Can I only go through here? Or am I stuck? Oh, I'm stuck. Okay. That's weird. It's probably because I'm cheating. Here we go. Look at this, by the way. Look at this. A wall you literally cannot see over with any class. And look at all this attention. It's literally for one reason. It's because you're going to be able to see it from a distance over here. Or if you're jumping. Or if I guess you're, you know, you're looking up and you can see from there. But look at that. Look at that. That's cool. These aren't connected to anything, which is a little bit odd. I'd imagine there'd be some wires of some sort. Yeah. Literally unplayable. What's up here? Trees. Nice. Nice, dude. Oh, it's something different in this map. Oh, I'm glad I went to this map because it's different. It's very different. There's water. Does it water ripple when I shoot it? Literally unplayable. Look at this. These are static PNGs. These aren't even PNG. These are like alpha masks. And then you just color them whatever you want in engine. Like, the amount of artistry is rather low. Until obviously you get into the game engine, and then, you know, there's artistry in how you arrange it, the colors you pick, all that kind of thing. What the hell is that? What is this? Oh! That's weird. Does it still, it does. Why does it do that? If I am here, would I be able to see myself? No, it's just projectiles. Why? Anyway, why is there a big rock there, too? Oh, because that rock's right here. And it's meant to be a mountain, but it looks like a big rock. Because that's literally what it is. It's a big rock. And because there's an actual mountain, and then that's a rock. Okay. Holy shit, I'm overwhelmed. There's so much level in this level. Okay, maybe less attention over here, but once again, fences. Classic. Who let this go by? It's like this. I mean, I'm sure that's an invisible wall. Ow. Yeah. Why would you not just bring the fence all the way around? I guess it doesn't make sense. Surely you could add like a box or something. Whatever. Not a big deal. Someone is drinking. Huh. I wonder if this drain pipe's for. Maybe just for rain, because it's a flat concrete surface. You know, logistics like that are an appreciated thing. Why isn't this connected? That kind of irks me. I don't see why you wouldn't have it connected. Ooh. I'm getting distracted. And not the distracted I'm intending to do. Data link. That's weird. I've never seen that before. Okay, so something interesting about this map that I'm noticing is it looks like, and I could be wrong here. It's not unlikely at all that I'm wrong, because I really don't know what the workflow is here. But to me, it looks like the, you know, displacement map, or like the terrain was made first, almost as an arena for the arena, and then extra walls, rooms, buildings, obstacles were added inside. That's what it looks like to me. And the reason for that is honestly kind of because of this. It's like, did this need to be connected? Like, what my instinct would have been if I had already made, like, let's say all this concrete and made the building and then went to add terrain, I probably would have just had this be like a little grotto, and it would be completely closed off. There'd be rock all the way over here, and it would just be like a little courtyard, but not connected to the wider terrain. And that's what makes me think that this also makes me think that, because why is there so much extra? I bet that's what they did, is they started with the terrain. But, you know, I could be wrong. But I kind of like that. I like that that workflow better. Just because it feels more cohesive. That's what would have came first, you know, in the real world. You know, the buildings aren't coming first in any scenario. Not in any scenario. So honestly, I kind of like that, you know, that, way of thinking where you are building things as they would normally come about. So if I were to, you know, build my desk in 3D model, right? I would probably add, well, first I'd want to have the room, right? Then I'd probably add my desk. That would come next. Then I'd probably add, you know, a chair or maybe my PC. And then I would, you know, add the accoutrement on top of my desk, like the keyboard, the mouse, the embarrassing amount of energy cans on my desk, my phone, right? And I think that kind of practice makes a lot of sense for map creation as well, because you're building a world. They're like, you would never start with the traffic cone, right? So I think it's the same thing. You wouldn't necessarily want to start with the buildings if you you know, you'd want to start with the world. Now, that being said, that's all fine and dandy. However, the counter argument to that would be you'd want to lay out a well-balanced, well-thought-out level, and you would definitely not do that with the terrain. You would do that with sightlines. You do that with walls. You do that with buildings. So, honestly, I'm not entirely sure. I'm not entirely sure. I think there's... Honestly, I think it would be preference and creative decision at the end of the day, is whether you want to focus more on like a cohesive map or, you know, one that's balanced and fun to play. I think obviously you can achieve both of those. Like, they aren't mutually exclusive in any way. But I think, you know, deciding what you start on is going to potentially impact what you value most in the map, or like what's going to be its strong suit. I love these like cords and just tubes, and there's a light switch that goes up to nowhere, and there's this thing. What is this? I don't. Is this a real thing? I don't think so. I like the extra, you know, what are they called? What's the thing where it's like a random tech and gizmos? Is it called, like, I want to say it's greebles, but that might be a different thing. Yeah, it is. Greebles are small, intricate surface details added to models like sci-fi spaceships or Legos. Thanks, AI overview. To give them visual complexity, realism, and a sense of scale. I see. So maybe that rock needs some more greebles. You know, it needs some moss. It needs smaller rocks. That would maybe give it a bit more of a sense of scale. Because if you were to just, like, look at it, it'd be like, that could be right next to me. Especially if there was no fog. Fences, once again. Classic. I like that, you know... Ah, damn it. It's really annoying. There's, you know, useful map information outside of the map. I think that's kind of cool. I don't think that's necessarily, you know, a big takeaway that you can do that, but it's good to keep in mind, I suppose. Not again. Private. Oh, damn it. Wait, what? Okay. This is a good game. It is a good game. Um, I think visual interest is really important for creating like a lively world. I think something I need to like think about is what do I want to achieve by making these skyboxes? By making, you know, the the level outside of the level, right? What do I want to achieve? And I think a lot of it is going to be, immersion. Because if right after this fence it just fell off, I wouldn't be very immersed. Or at the very least, I'd think I was in some sort of weird, floating island. But I think this, visual interest like this is a really strong thing. And it kind of gives the map its identity. I'm assuming this is the big building. It's not. The big building's right here. Which doesn't load. I really wish I could render everything at once. That would be really nice. Dude, there he is. Everywhere I look, it's private and Pictro. That's so cool. Yeah, I mean, in one of the maps on my server, made by the lovely map designer Dry Imperial, I think one of his big strong suits is that attention to detail at a large scale, which almost sounds counterintuitive. Like, detail at a large scale, that's just like regular objects. But it's I'd say like detail at a large scale would be like that. It would be like design motifs, that kind of thing. And I think that's one of his strong suits. I'd also say like smaller details as well. But he does tend towards the larger scale of maps, so you end up getting maybe less of the minute details, but still a lot of details, sometimes at the sheer scale of it. That kind of was word salad, honestly. I love this. What goes on over here? You think there's been like a drug deal? That's what my mind goes to. Behind the, water silo, or what is in here? Yeah. Water. That's what I'm going to say. Final answer. Speaking of water. Wow. I really like this. I like what I'm seeing. I like that a lot. I don't like that. Look at all this. Oh my god. Wait, okay. Where can you see out these windows? No, but you totally could. I think. This doesn't look very good. But like, look at that. This whole area. Look, you could do some cliff jumping here. I mean, there's probably like all sorts of pollutants in the water, knowing, the TF2 universe, but I'd say worth. Here's a rock that I think has got better scale than that one. Because, like, look at all these jagged edges and outcroppings that this just doesn't have that. Boo. Boo. Ooh, look, there's a ladder. To nowhere. What is in here? I wonder what this is, because it's not, you don't even access it at all. Interesting. I wonder if there's any other geometry I'm missing. Oh, is that the competitive thing or whatever? I bet it is. So yeah, I think, okay, let's say takeaways from Gorge. Focus on, it is this weird, it must be on every map. Focus on providing detail where eyes are going to be. Whether that's somewhere that players are waiting, or, you know, as they're rotating. I think here's a good example. Add, you know, visual interest with, like, you know, notable objects, maybe landmarks. Like, this building for me is very interesting. I want to know more about this building. I want to go in this building. I never will. How can you grieve something you don't even know? Anyway, on that note... Oh, what? What is this? E equals MC squared. What? This isn't a spawn point, is it? Is this actually a spawn point you can spawn in? I guess it is. What? I've never seen this in my life. And you walk out right here? No. No, that's wrong. I've never seen that. Mandela effect or something. Okay, here's something that bothers me. In any other game, you know, like any other Source game even, if you shot this, it would explode. For sure. To be fair, not red, which is often like the kind of design choice. But still, I see like a helium or like a gas canister. I'm shooting it to see if it blows up. What is this? Why is this here? I think they could have gone... Yeah, they could have added, like, more. It wasn't like, oh, there's some open space. Let's add... I mean, they could have added a whole lot more. But they just... This was, like, a very intentional choice. Can you be a... Can you, like, place a sentry there? It'd be kind of funny. I should have thought about this. Yeah, I should have thought this through better. Okay. Oh, wow. Yeah, what goes on here? Oh, no, we're good. Okay. I don't play a lot of NG, if you couldn't tell. Oh, it can go in here. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that sight. You can't do shit against that. You're screwed. I wonder if you could, like, box yourself in here. I bet you could. Or, like, turtle. Like, this is the ultimate turtle right here. Look at that. I am totally stuck. I can still, obviously, shift. Imagine if a new player did this, and they don't know that you can, like, crouch jump. You're just screwed. I like this. I like this a lot. What if... Okay, you place a sentry here. Oh, now we're theory crafting. This is dangerous. Right? Like this. And you can hit it. And you are free from direct attack. Now, okay, a demo could, like, throw a pipe over here. A soldier could easily shoot you with a rocket. But if we ignore that, I mean, this is perfect. Oh, you could even place a teleporter here. Now, you wouldn't... Oh, teleporter, Eureka effect. You've got an instant access to the most cringe turtle spot of all time. You might be able to see this from outside. Yeah, you can. So, arguably terrible, actually. But we're gonna ignore that. Let's look at some indoor sections.
which is actually less of what I wanted to focus on with, you know, like looking at skyboxes and stuff. But I think there's still some, you know, valuable insight you can gain from looking, you know, at the details like that. I like that you can see these two different areas, but they're completely inaccessible to each other. I mean, you can walk to the other place, but, like, there's a window. I like that. We've got some useless catwalks. Classic. Some greebles, you know, as has been mentioned earlier. What's the lore of this map? I don't know. Oh my god, it's all coming together. It's all private. It's private all the way down. It's private all the way down. Bro, I didn't know this was the map turbine. Haha. Ha. Haha, guys, you get it? Ooh, I like this a lot. Wow. I like that they look like faces. What is that called? That, like, syndrome of where people just see faces and everything? I don't know. Ooh, it's a printer. Or is that a fax machine? It says print on it. I'm going to assume it's a printer. Look at this. It's so cool. And then you've got the, I'm going to be eaten alive for not knowing what this form of media is, but I don't. But racks of the, you know, discs. I guess they wouldn't even be discs. Cassettes? That doesn't feel right because they're circles. Circles can't be cassettes. But I guess cassettes are just two circles in a box. Oh, whatever. Oh, look, this is one of those useless catwalks where you can't get from point A. This is backwards. Can you see that in game? You totally can. That's so funny. Is it just it must just be a plane, and they're like, we can't be bothered. It is just a plane. Okay. Whoa. What is? Oh, fan. Ah. Well, this one's also backwards. But there's no. Why would it be backwards if you can't even see the other side? You can't see the other side of this one either. Why would that be? Why would this side be the you know, the side that gets priority? That doesn't make any sense. Dude, for a second I thought this was one of those like TV carts they used to have at school. No, it's not. This is a dingy resupply. Oh, look at that. You can see the mountain. Like, look at this. I would love to work here. I mean, aside from the mercenaries, you know, kind of being a daily occurrence, I would love to be able to see this mountain. You know, go on your lunch break, just sit here. Just kind of relax. This would be nice. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. I think this... No, this doesn't blow up because it's not payload. Nice. We have some of those in our server as well, actually, because they're funny. Oh, weird. Can't see it on both sides. I think we've probably covered the bases because this map does end indoors, but I mean, I guess like what takeaways kind of take away from the skybox specifically? Like how would I do this kind of thing in Minecraft, for instance? Well, there's several ways actually. We have systems now using some dope plugins. This is another area I haven't seen. What the heck? Okay, anyway, sorry. To where we can place images in the world. So we could literally do PNGs just like this. Place them in the world. Now that would be probably very cost heavy. So probably not. We'd probably use, you know, big shocker here, blocks. And, you know, we'd still be making these, you know, walls, but they'd be farther out. I don't know. I think that could be done. And then obviously, I think, you know, there could be something to, you know, specifically for my Minecraft server here. This isn't maybe advice that can be. No, that's not true. This could be used anywhere. Make some of these cool structures. You know, I guarantee you this. I can't guarantee you, but I have a very strong suspicion that this exact cell tower is in at least one other map. I'm sure it's in several other maps. You know, it becomes sort of something you're used to seeing. But it's like, it's still an impressive structure to look at. And you can just copy it. Not everything needs to be unique. That's a hurdle I sometimes need to get past, is like, it's okay to reuse assets. I don't know why I've ever gotten that kind of idea. But like, especially good assets, you can reuse good assets for sure. Ooh, biohazard. Oh my gosh, I'm tired. Biohazard. I really do wish, like, this window for sure could be. Oh yeah, this window could 100% be see-through. What a missed opportunity. I mean, this looks not perfect, but like, whatever. And you can see like this doorway. Let me guess. Yeah, I knew it. Private. This is awesome. This is so cool. I'm so glad I did this. But yeah, okay. Well, let's see. What were my takeaways? 1, add more detail where eyes will be. You know, we're doing a level of detail work, right? 2 is going to be, you know, add visual interest. Add, you know, I don't know what to call these. Not structures, but like, almost landmarks, we'll call them. Because I do think that, kind of brings the outside of the map to life, which then in turn brings the inside of the map to life. The other thing that I mentioned, I'm remembering, is, what was it? Oh yeah, have your priorities straight from the get-go. You know, like, because your workflow should represent what you want to accomplish with what you're working on. You know, like I mentioned, I thought this terrain might have been generated before the map was. And I think that goes to show that, you know, a cohesive landscape is something that was given priority. No, I could be wrong, but I think that's still true regardless. Because I know TF2 is very, very focused generally with you know, game balance. I think some people would maybe scoff and say, well, there's lots of bullshit items in TF2. But I think, I don't know. I think TF2, for the most part, is a very, very balanced game. You know, maybe I'll be eaten alive for that, but... So yeah, focus your priorities immediately, and have your workflow reflect, what you want to accomplish. So, map out exactly how you want your map, or how you want your, the flow of your game to work, and then make a landscape around that, or make a landscape and then, reverse engineer a map accordingly. Kind of do the algebra and figure it out. I mean, really, it just comes down to, like, more detail. I would say is better most of the time. I think, simplicity can have its place, but in map making, I don't know if it is. Because I think, it definitely has its place. It does. But not that often. Because I think simplicity with maps is just, it makes it boring. And you're going to have something else carry the reins. Now, I think you could get away. You can. I mean, we play on those, like, free trade, like, surf maps. Those look terrible. They aren't appealing to look at all, but we play them because the gameplay is really fun. So, obviously, having other aspects to carry engagement is good too. But I think the maps should be able to stand for themselves. I don't know many games where you can just... I'd say there's definitely games where this is the case, but, like, you can totally... TF2 is a single player game now. Just no clip around. Look at stuff. This is awesome. If I ever don't know what to do on my computer, I'm doing this. This is lovely. I love it. So yeah, that's Gorge. Detail. Landmarks. Workflow. Priorities. Level of detail, laud. Have a good day. Have a good day. Diabetes, Wilford Brimley? Okay. Goodbye.